The slice-of-life genre is one of the most popular, wide-ranging, and mislabeled in anime. Unlike more clearly defined genres, slice of life is a little hard to pin down. Shows tend to focus on everyday experiences framed through a naturalistic representation of reality. They often eschew grander, fantastical stories in favor of more subdued character work. It doesn't mean a series has to take place in the real world or even be grounded in reality. I don't know anyone who would call Nichijou grounded. The genre's earned a dubious reputation from some, slice of nothing I think they like to call it, but rest assured the genre has plenty of meat on its bones. I find myself connecting with slice of life stories more often than any other genre, in part because I relate to its experiences and themes on a level I just don't see nearly as frequently anywhere else. Perhaps the most appealing aspect of the genre as a whole, however, is its variety. What do Mushishi and K-On! Have in common? They're both slice of life. The two series, of course, couldn't be more different, but it demonstrates just how broad the genre can be, covering a range of styles, settings, and themes as wide as any in anime. A show's given subgenre within slice of life is far more telling to what the series is actually like. With more slice of life series airing now than ever before, you could argue there's never been a better time to be a fan of the genre. But does that make this the golden age of slice of life? The slice of life style was present in Japanese literature long before its transition to anime, and while the first slice of life series is difficult to pinpoint, we can largely credit its start to the shows of World Masterpiece Theater, a long-running Japanese TV program that showcased a new anime adaptation of a classical story every year. With the industry still in its relative infancy, World Masterpiece Theater was responsible for producing some of anime's most seminal works. Before the founding of Nippon Animation, Mushi Production and Zuio Eizo handled the series when the program was known as the Capelli Comic Theater in the late 60s, with series like Moomin and Rocky Chuck the Mountain Rat. If that sounds familiar, it's probably because it's the show that inspired Shirobako's Andy's Chucky. In 1974, now legendary director Isao Takahata and animator at the time Hayao Miyazaki took on a simple realistic drama called Heidi, Girl of the Alps. TV networks were initially skeptical the series could be successful due to its subdued nature, which they feared wouldn't appeal to a child audience. However, the series exploded in popularity both domestically and worldwide, allowing the two to continue making series for World Masterpiece Theater, now for the newly founded studio, Nippon Animation. Over the next 5 years, they worked on several hugely successful series like A Dog of Flanders and 3,000 Leagues in Search of Mother, before Miyazaki left in 1979 during the production of Anne of Green Gables to make The Castle of Cagliostro. Takahata eventually left in 1981 to produce Chie the Brat, rejoining Miyazaki at Telecom, where they later left to found Studio Ghibli in 1985. World Masterpiece Theater, meanwhile, continued to run until 1997, adapting more classic stories such as Tom Sawyer, Swiss Family Robinson, and Little Women. Upon seeing the huge success of World Masterpiece Theater's early works, more studios began to take on slice-of-life stories in the 80s and 90s, from Dean's My-san Ikoku to Pierrot's Great Teacher Onizuka. Some of the best slice-of-life manga also hail from this period, like Yokohama Kaidashi Kiko. Fast forward to today, and you can't go a season without at least a handful of new slice-of-life shows. While this could have led to the genre getting watered down, recent series have time and again perfectly captured what made their predecessors so special. Much of the genre's variety today stems from the success of shows in the 2000s. Where most of the World Masterpiece Theater slice-of-life series stuck to character-driven drama and realistic historical settings, the genre has really expanded in the last 15 years. Recently, fellow AniTuber Subsonic Sparkle made a video where he divided the genre into 4 subsets: gag-driven comedy, cute girls doing cute things, iyashikei, and character-driven slice of life. While we could get into the various ways they overlap, and other categories that this doesn't encompass, I feel like that's generally a good breakdown of where you can fit most slice-of-life series. So for simplicity's sake, let's use these subsets when describing the varieties of slice of life for the rest of the video. That's what's made current series stand out to me. While watching this season's shows, I couldn't help but wonder if this is the best the genre's ever been. Not only because there's a lot of really great slice of life series airing right now, but because there's a show for every type of slice of life you could want. Amanchu, the spiritual successor to Aria, is a brilliant iyashikei series with its soothing atmosphere and incredibly cathartic tone. Beyond just that, though, is a story about opening up and enjoying the world around you. The characterization in the first 2 episodes makes it my favorite of the season so far, more so than the atmosphere, as Hikaru opens Futaba's eyes to the beauty and fun all around her. Smart direction establishes both of their characters early on, like this shot with Futaba surrounded by the gorgeous landscape yet sucked into her phone with pictures of her former friends. Later shots highlight the series' major theme as talk of fun and enjoyment is set to the backdrop of the limitless ocean. This is iyashikei at its finest. Sweetness and Lightning follows in the footsteps of Usagi Drop and Barakamon, telling a remarkable character-driven story about a young widower learning to cook for his daughter. The emotional arc of its first episode, while setting up the series exceptionally well, also could serve as a standalone story all to itself. The show sets up Koei's decision to learn how to cook real meals for Tsumugi with shots of her feigning happiness at the convenience store food they eat, or being glued to the TV watching cooking shows. She's not the type of kid to outright complain about what her father gives her, demonstrated in this moment from episode 2, but her disappointment comes through visually. Thus, her genuine happiness when her father cooks for her and when they eat at Kotori's place make these moments all the more impactful. Not to mention the show is absolutely adorable. Orange's main group of friends offers more genuine relationships in one episode than some shows manage in their entire run. The montage in the first episode, for example, particularly stood out to me thanks to its fun direction and visuals. It seems like more of a drama first, but slice-of-life elements are definitely there, with Naho and her friends' interactions taking center stage. New Game combines the cute girls doing cute things style of other Dogakobo efforts like Yuru Yuri with the workplace setting of Shirobako. That may be where the similarities stop, as it doesn't have the eccentric cast or nearly in-depth look inside the industry, but it's a more than worthy successor to traditional moe shows like Is the Order a Rabbit? Directed by Tomomi Mochizuki, who worked on the aforementioned Maison Ikoku, Battery looks to offer a powerful story of friendship and teamwork with a much different feel to it than some sports anime, as the bond between its main duo already feels real, a crucial component to character-driven slice of life. That's 5 series that could stack up with the best if they stay on their current trajectory, and I haven't mentioned shows like This Art Club Has a Problem, Re-Life, and even Love Live Sunshine, which all have slice of life components to them. It begs the question then, is this the golden age of slice of life? Well, a golden age is defined as the most flourishing period in the history of a subject. It's the time at which a discipline is at its peak. Think of it as the period when quantity of quality is highest. Of course, there's more to it than that. Did a period revolutionize its era? Was it innovative or avant-garde? Factors like progress and cultural influence weigh in too. So a golden age of slice of life should be a time with numerous great series that also showcases the best aspects of the genre and maybe even pushes it into new territory. Looking back through the history of the genre, 4 periods immediately stand out to me. The first is, unsurprisingly, the early world masterpiece theater era of the 70s, which we covered earlier. Not only did this era play a pivotal role in getting the genre where it is today, but with some of the brightest minds in the industry's history at the forefront, World Masterpiece Theater produced some of the most critically acclaimed slice-of-life series that still hold up 40 years later, most notably 3000 Leagues in Search of Mother and Anne of Green Gables. You could say this is the golden age of slice of life, and I doubt anyone would bat an eye, but let's keep going. Next would have to be the mid-2000s, with shows like Aria, Mushishi, Genshiken, and Lucky Star leading the way. This period is partially responsible for expanding the genre into the huge net it casts today, with the explosive popularity of Lucky Star, for example, leading to a boom in gag-driven comedy. While I haven't completed it yet myself, Aria is routinely lauded as a quintessential slice of life that perfectly encapsulates what makes the genre great. It's worth noting that I only counted series I'd consider primarily slice of life, so shows like Haruhi and Clannad weren't included in my thinking. If you did include them, they'd make this period even stronger. Even so, the mid-2000s represents a crucial point in the genre's history, adding to its variety and driving its popularity to even greater heights. In the following years, many series tried to replicate the success of the shows of this era, but it wasn't until the end of the decade where we saw another period of such consistently high quality. 2010 and 11 saw K-On! Season 2 and the K-On! Movie, Nichijou, Usagi Drop, Hanasaku Iroha, Working, Bakuman, Yuru Yuri, A-Channel, and many more. I think it goes without saying this period's biggest cultural phenomenon came with K-On!, whose impact in Japan is still felt today, but the sheer depth of quality in these 2 years is remarkable. While it's not nearly so black and white, many credit K-On! And other shows around this time frame for the moe explosion in recent years, even though K-On!'s more of a character-driven slice of life than anything. Regardless, the quantity of great shows in this era is hard to ignore. Finally, we get to the present, summer 2016. With so many anime airing in the last 4 years, you could really isolate any one and find a handful of great series, but I can't think of a time when a single season had so many quality slice of life shows all at once. This summer has every subset of slice of life well represented, so no matter what attracts you to the genre, there's sure to be something you'll enjoy. If you expanded the period to include the entire year, it looks even better. Then there's more iyashikei and Flying Witch, cute girls doing cute things in Sancho Sanyo, and gag-driven comedy in Bakuan, Tanaka-kun is Always Listless, and Sakamoto Desuga. 2016 has already had more than its fair share of successful slice of life series, but fall looks to offer even more with another character-driven series in Sound Euphonium Season 2. In the end, if you held my feet to the fire and told me to pick one, I'd probably choose the World Masterpiece Theater era as most fitting to the definition of Golden Age thanks to its importance, but that's not to discredit any other period. The discussion of Golden Ages is always a fun one, as it offers a new perspective into how a subject has evolved over time. But in this case, it also reminds me of all that slice of life has to offer. There's something to be said about the unique connection a great slice of life can provide. It's the intimate character work and relatable experiences, which pervade all the genre subsets, that make these series so damn good. Just because it doesn't adhere to your checklist of major plot points all stories should have, doesn't mean nothing happens. In a world brimming with fantastical adventures and larger-than-life stories, slice of life is the reminder to stop and smell the roses. Sometimes it's those simple but hard-to-come-by moments of growth, emotion, and serenity that makes a story stand out. Golden Age or not, 2016 has been one of the best times to be a slice-of-life fan, and a wonderful reminder of what makes this genre so special.
今しかでき